Oh, I am so sorry, everybody. That was a longer just starting than I would have liked. But the little man really needed some mama hugs before bed. So that's a quick mama hug snuggle. And then he went to go snuggle daddy. He just needed a mama hug. And I'm you know me. Beetle. Hello. How is your Monday, Beetle? Got a hair's cut. We're doing the undercut thing. The funsies. And also because I have a bunch of baby hairs growing in on my neck, and now I can think because they're off my neck. Whew. I'm also very tired because all of a sudden, because like my brain is like, extra synapses. Think about things. So we're gonna jump right in because we are sitting right outside of Norma's house, and yes, we're on the we're on the 25th because that's where I had to time travel, because I was like, no, we're doing this now. Thanksgiving and villager hunt after Norma have to be two separate things. So here we are. Here we are. All right, gonna jump into here. I love the storage sheds. The storage sheds are freaking amazing. They are everything. Love that they exist. Gonna pull. So I don't have many. I also don't have many Nook miles. So at some point, there's just going to have to be a, all right, it's time to figure this out type move where we just decide and that's who we take home. Otherwise I have amiibos as well, so it's not hugely pressing, but it would be nice to find like one of the new villagers, or a couple of the new villagers on these islands. I've decorated just the plaza because that's the part that matters for Turkey Day. I decorated the plaza. I think it looks pretty good. I have my DIYs here because I think I remember there was something about that. I don't know. There might not be. I can put away that DIY bench, but I've got my storage shed here. I've got everything else all laid out. And here is the man himself. We will not see him for a few days, and that'll be okay. We're gonna have a full day with him on Thursday. We're gonna do the Thanksgiving event on Thursday, definitely. But for now, got our pockets full of Nook miles, and we're gonna go on a villager hunt. I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know who we're picking up because there's quite a few villagers that we could grab. Okay. I want to fly. Here we go. I obviously want one of the new villagers, and Ione or Shino are of course top of that list. They did name a villager after me, but not after me, obviously. There's a Zoe villager. Probably not gonna get her because she's an anteater, and I don't like the anteater villagers, and I'm a little sad that the only Zoe villager is an anteater villager. So, here we go. Let's roll, Orville. Oh. There's some actual audio going for the Elgato. Alright, first one is nope. First one's a no. Just a no. I am going to be doing clearing on these islands just because we are strapped for bells because of the last update. I have next to nothing, and then I built like 3 bridges, and I was like, oh my goodness. Yes! I did buy the ATM, and then I accidentally sold it back to the Nook boy, to the Nooklings. So I need to grind some Nook miles again and grab that again. But yes. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. I'm glad that oh, well, there we go. I'm glad that the people who visit your island can use the ATM because that's really helpful. Why can they not use the ATM inside the inside resident services? I don't know. It makes no sense, but sure. No, it's very considerate. Yeah, so I'm gonna grind and then we'll get that back. It was just in my pockets and I was just like offloading a bunch of crap, and it should not have been in my pockets when I walked into Nook's Cranny, but it was. So it sometimes I'm like, why are you like this? No, all the time. I'm like that all the time with myself. How's your Monday, Beetle? How's it going, my dude? Wait, is it Caesar? His name is Caesar, right? No, Klaus. No. His name is Klaus, but he's dressed like, you know. Alright. His catchphrase is strudel, so there's that. That's a choice. So, you know. Doing okay? Alright. It's a very non-committal answer, but also understand not wanting to answer fully on somebody else's stream. Tomorrow's gonna be Brilliant Diamond. I haven't gotten very far at all in Brilliant Diamond because I have been just working through the update. The Animal Crossing update, which has just been so much fun, and also like trying to get all the good items because I'm that person. But tomorrow we're gonna be doing some. We don't actually. You know what? We could use the fossil just for the coin. We could use the fossil for the coin. So, but you know, I'm spacing out because I'm just super focused on like, all right, here we go. We're just stripping this whole thing. We're not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna do the full pull it apart for wood and stuff. If I need to do that, I'll do more Captain Islands because I get quite a bit off of those. Not super worried. It would be nice to get a DIY on this island. Hello? Hello? Hi, Sean. How are things? Sean, Norma was like, I want to go. And I was like, shoot. I love you, but also I need not another normal type villager on my island because I have so many. I think after this, Marina will be the last normal. So and our first is Klaus. Where is that bastard? Where did he go? Where's that Roman bastard? Where did he go? Oh my god. Okay, he's way over here. He's dressed like a Caesar. So yeah, we're not playing. Okay. Orville. Let's go home. How many villagers total? You get 10, right? I'm now mixing up. Yes, you get 10 villagers total. Yup, let's roll. I only have like 33 Nook Mile tickets because we're strapped for cash. We're strapped for Nook Miles. We've been focusing on decorating, so having had good, you know, turnip prices. Yeah, the crown. That crown is a weird flex. It's such a weird flex. It's crazy it showed up this early. It is bonkers it showed up this early. At least to me anyway. It feels like it shouldn't show up that early in the game for you because you're not there. Maybe it's going off of averages. I don't know. It feels wrong for it to go like that early. Yeah, that's yeah, it's super weird. It's super weird. Two more question mark? Two more what? Two more what? Ooh. Yeah, you're not that deep in it yet. Okay, here we go. Island number 2. Who's here? I shudder to think. Oh, 2 more. Yeah, you have 2 more villagers to fill up. So you have the amiibos, which will help. But I think you have to have an empty plot, and it takes a couple tries for them to come back. So fine. So here's, and no coffee, which is weird. Maybe you need 10 villagers. I don't know. So here's what you do. You load up those you load up those 2 slots. You load up those 2 villagers that you want to have on your island. You're probably going to have to go talk to Tom in order to get those slots open. But before you do, pick the 2 that you want to have on your island. When you invite a camper using an amiibo card, I think I'm on Money Rock and I'm not mad at it. We're on a Money Rock Island, Island 2. This is great. When you invite an amiibo, it takes 3 days. When you invite a villager using an amiibo, it takes 3 days. Then what you do is every day they come, they're like, oh, I have a request for a souvenir. It's always a DIY project. If you don't have the DIY recipe, they will give it to you. It's a great way to farm early on if you don't have. So then what you do is you craft. He's not giving you plots right now. It's weird. That's weird. That's weird. Wonder what's going on there. Have this locked and loaded just in case. Because of reasons. It's going to take you 3 tries to get them. You're going to do the first 2 and then you're going to hang out and wait. Once you have those open plots ready, or open plot singular, then you invite the amiibo camper and then I think you will be able to slot them into that amiibo. But you have to do those first 2 DIY missions for them. The last time you will do another 3rd, they will be like, oh, is there any room? On a full island, they'll be like, oh no, there's no room. What are we gonna do? Is there somebody who might want to leave? ? And then they'll ask one of your existing villagers to leave if you're full. If you have another 2 slots open, I think you can slot them in using the amiibos. I don't see why you wouldn't be allowed to do that if Nintendo, with the amiibos, considering Nintendo really likes amiibos. Like, super likes amiibos. So if you couldn't just invite somebody, who is here? Who is here? So anyway, that's how you do that. I need to find out who's on this fucking island. Who is here? There's a campfire, which means that somebody's here. A koala. Hello, my Gonzo. I don't believe we've met. Name's Gonzo. Fancy meeting you here. Wherever here is, I'm on like fuzzy on that part, mate. Zoe, right? From Neverland? You're a long way from home, or at least I think you are. Well, we all got our reasons for being where we are. I reckon just need to puzzle out mine. Oh my goodness. What is Gonzo? What is Gonzo? I don't need to search it here. I could search it on my phone probably faster. Who cares? Cranky. I already have a Cranky. Oh, he's so cute. He's so cute. Inside of his house, super cool. Log cabin, all the log furniture, campfire stove, super cute. Super duper cute. Oh, he's adorable. Okay, number 2, Gonzo. My goodness gracious, he's cute though. Gonzo is of course paying full price for my island's native fruit. He came here to maybe try and like go to one of those pay and pick farms. See. Oh, pardon me. See what maybe like a pay and pick farm is all about. You know, you pay a flat fee and then you get to go and pick as much as you like. That seems absolutely bananas to Gonzo, you know. Someone stop me because I'm just gonna be stuck in this accent for the rest of the night. It's fine. Those rocks, I'm gonna show you. Hold up. I'm gonna show you. Here we go. It's good. So those rocks, look at these rocks. Holy shit. So we're gonna go get those rocks because this is Money Rock Island and we are not fucking around with Money Rock Island. Excuse you. Excuse you. First thing is you come up to this rock on a Money Rock Island and you eat one of the native fruits. Usually it is your native fruit, which is quite nice because then the game doesn't make you lose out on some bells. Break this. Oh, hello there. You get a little cash from that. I thank you very much, sir. And then you yeet yourself across here. Hello. Welcome to Money Rock Island. Definitely should have hit that before I fully broke it, but we're not gonna mess around here. All right. Nope. Okay, we're good. We're just gonna position ourselves very carefully against this little island. We don't really have to do our little trick here. Wha-bam. Hello. Hello. This isn't a super rare spawn. This isn't as rare as like Scorpion Island or Tarantula Island or any of that, which we're not gonna get because I'm hunting early morning. But this is still like a this is less rare than like Gold Nugget Island. Gold Nugget Island is a completely different vibe. I've never gotten a Gold Nugget Island. I'm gonna be honest. Money Rock Island I've gotten a few times, and Money Rock Island is pay dirt. Okay, we don't fuck around with Money Rock Island. I know. It's complete and utter gonzo. Listen, complete and utter gonzo. And this is just how we do Money Rock Island. Here we go. We are not passing her up. We did not get the blessings of those turnip islands early on. We are working towards it. We are trying. Okay. Here we go. Okay, go to bed, Sean. Thank you for coming and hanging out. I appreciate you. Here we go. I am severely tempted by Gonzo because I think he's fucking adorable. But I know for a fact that they're spitting out those brand new villagers with the update. Oof. We're gonna go find one of those new villagers, you know. It would be great to get Petri because Petri is full Ostrich vibes, which would be great. But also, look at this. We're almost up to 100,000. I straight. But I really want the squirrel because she glows in the dark. It's the only villager I know. Excuse you. Can you just yeet yourself? Thank you. It's the only villager I know of that glows in the fucking dark. Excuse you? Highly carcinogenic. Please have her on my island. Thank you. I would like the glow in the dark squirrel now, please, and thank you. Why are we getting oh, because I hit rocks. Good. Okay, we need miles. As you can see. Okay, this is good. Let's go. And Gonzo. Oh my gosh. I love the koala villagers. The koala villagers are so fucking cute. But I cannot justify. If there's a peppy koala villager, I will justify that. I will justify the fuck out of that. But another cranky after we've already got Mr. Octavian. No, I mean we've got our octopus. Got our octopus boy. Oh, that's another villager. If we get Cephalobot, I know Amanda Files does not like Cephalobot. I love all of the cephalopod villagers. I don't care if they're a robot cephalopod. I'm here for it because reasons. I know Boston Dynamics is doing scary, scary shit, but I need all of the cephalopod. I need all the cephalopod villagers. This is just a thing that we're gonna have to, like, if cephalopod shows up, he's going in that farm plot. Like, I don't care. He's going, like, where Norma is a farm. I don't care. I'm putting a cephalopod robot in the farm plot of the island. Maybe we'll move him. Probably not. He's just gonna have to deal with it. We're just gonna hang out. But maybe, I don't know. I'll fucking like deal with that later. Have all the cephalopods except for one now. They released one fucking update. Now I don't have all of the cephalopods. This is not okay. I need, listen. I need all the cephalopods. Okay? Okay? It's very important. It's very fucking important that I get all of the cephalopods. Here we go, number 3. We're heading to island number 3. You're ready to roll. Here we go. Are you offering to sell me more tools, sir? Suddenly very ready-nosed, and I can only think that it's because I just did my nightly saline in my nose. My nose doesn't drive out. Help. Worried. He's nervous. Help. He's stress eating. It's fine. Help our man. My man. What was I just fucking saying? What was I just saying? What was I just saying? That's island number 4. We get Cephalobot. Do I move along? Do I move along and leave? Nope. shoot. I honestly, I have all the fortune telling set. God damn it. What did I just say? Did I just summon this man? Did I just summon this man by speaking his name too many times? What do I do? I have 30 tickets and over an hour and a half of stream left. Like, do we leave this man here and then just pray? We might just leave this man and then pray, because like I have Hamlet on my island for Lee in particular, so she can get oh good night Irene, so she can get her little jock hamster. But she, you know, oh dear. What do I do? I don't know if I can leave this poor cephalopod. I don't know if I can leave this poor octopus on this island. I'm like legit. I need to understand if this game has we're talking to him. Oh, well, hello there. Bet you didn't expect to meet someone like me in a place like this. The name is Cephalobot. I am an octopus about town, or in this case, about islands. And you must be Zoe from Neverland, right? We should probably stick together, don't you think? I'm scared. Okay, but but like, I want so bad. I want so bad. But also, here's the deal. The thing about the game is that this is data mined from credible sources, so I can, in fact, I could take this to the bank. First, it rolls a species, and then it rolls a villager from that species. The octopus species up to this point, which is why I have all 3 octopus villagers, 0 amiibo, is because there's only 3 octopus villagers. So it rolls octopus and then decides that it's only going to have to roll from those 3, which is why everybody comes up on those 3. But now there's 4, which now still means that everybody only comes up on those 4. So the chances of me re-rolling this man are very high. Like very fucking high. So here's my conundrum. Here's my conundrum. I could theoretically just leave this man here. Just leave this poor, I don't know. Maybe not man. Maybe just them. This entity here. And then like the game could just be like, here's octopus villager again, and then you would get it. But because I already have all 3 octopus villagers on my island, if this game, my game in particular, decides to roll octopus out of the 16, that is a 1 in 16 chance. Roll octopus, which is like if it rolls octopus, it only has one choice. It only has this man. This man right here. Just this man. I have another 30 tickets. The chances of me re-rolling octopus are insanely high. And because I have the other 2, I will only roll cephalobot. Because not the other 2, the other 3. I have all 3. So if I roll octopus, the only octopus villager I can roll is this person right here. And this is how 1,000 villager hunts start. Like this is how, like this exact scenario. So I could do I pass for the drama? Do I pass for the content? I could theoretically pass for the content. There's also that. But glow in the dark squirrel, even just for a second, but like glow in the dark squirrel. I love robot octopus, but glow in the dark squirrel. Robot octopus is great. I love me a cephalopod. Don't get it twisted. I love me a cephalopod. But glow in the dark squirrel. Or Oni deer. The Oni deer. Shino. The Oni deer. Shino the Oni deer. We have to keep going. I have to keep going. I definitely think I have to keep going. Oh my gosh. 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 Shakes trees. Do I leave? Do I leave this man? I think entity. I'm sorry. Cuz he's not technically alive. He's not technically alive. I think I have to leave. Cephalbot. I think I have to go. I'm doing it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Beetle. I'm sorry, Beetle. I'm sorry, Beetle. I'm sorry, Beetle. What like I just laid out the odds. 1 in 16? Like literally 1 in 16. With the amount of tickets I have in my pocket, we should be able to come upon him at least one more time. One more time. That's the odds. Listen, I'm playing the odds. I'm playing the odds and I'm gonna regret it. I know. Oh no. I'm glad you're still here, Beetle, cheering me on. Because I don't know. Orville, I think I just made a mistake. But I had to do it. You know I had to do it to him. I had to do it to him. I just left a cephalopod on an island. I guess I'm packed. I don't know, girl. I know what the odds are. I know what the odds are. Ooh, we're on Bad Boo Island. Who is here? Who is here? Who? That's not Renee. Is that Renee? Annalise. Hi, Annalise. I know where to find you. Whew. All right, well, there's Annalise, Island 4. There is no moral quandary here. The bay horse in the moo. I think we'll be perfectly happy just hanging out. Not here. I don't know why I keep covering that. I just do. That's gonna be a hard pass. Really quick, we're gonna try and find a we're gonna try and oops. We're gonna try and find the DIY if there is one, and then we're gonna dip. Cause wow. Listen, if you want to wear a moo, that's great. Don't expect me to invite you over. Big yikes. Just a big yikes. Nope, no DIY. Orville! Get me the fuck out of here. $100%. 100%. 100%. Oh, get me the fuck out. Thank you. Island number 4, Annalise. Oh boy. We're gonna have to go dump inventory at some point. We'll do that in a minute. Here we go. Oh. Water bottle is very far. Oh no. We're at one of those islands. Oh boy. Is that fucking... Is that Quilson? Nope. We are not taking the Jake Paul duck. Of course there's bees. Of course there's bees on Jake Paul Duck's island. If you know, you know. Like, if you've had Quilson on your island, you know, the man with the... Is it the comb over? Or is it the snide comments? Is it... He was on my island. We're not even going to talk to each other because he was on my island. I've said everything I need to say, okay? Like... did not like Quilson being on my. He was one of the first people I got, and I was like, oh, he's a cute little duck. He's got like a comb over. What the fuck is that? No. Just like full send Jake Paul personality. Just like I can't identify with anything you say. I really hope this is a fossil. We're gonna take this and then we're gonna fucking leave because Jake Paul duck. This man is a menace. Man is a menace. Orville. Wilbur. Who the hell over? If I've kicked them off Neverland, it is for a reason. For a reason. Cannot believe we got taken to an island with fucking Quilson. Yeah, I want to fly somewhere without Quilson. I'm not here for this. Not here for this. Quilson. Quilson Island 5. No. No. Rude. Rude. Oh no. Wait, which one is this one? Is this like Marty or something? Is this Marty? Who is this? Barreled. You're real cute. We're leaving, Barreled? We're leaving. Whoops, come on now. Let's get out of here. Let's get, yes, I'm out. I'm gone. Hello. Neckbeard cub. Ain't it? He's cute-ish. But also like, good. Out of here, Orville. Take me to Shino. You know? Take me to Shino or Ione. I mean, honestly, Ione though. Ione? That's who I want to see. That's who I want to see around here. Ione. Okay. The bot's calling for a bio break kind of early, considering when I got on screen. So we're gonna do this island and then we'll do bio break. And that'll be okay. Took a hot minute. Oh, Money Rock Island again. Okay, it's gonna be this way. Possibly? Do you see this man? Goose. Fucking, I watched the Amanda Files. Goose. I know exactly who you are. Yeah, what the fuck are you doing here? No. No, you may not, you big ol'. Oh my god. I'm only here for the money, okay? Let's just make that absolutely fucking clear. Goose? No, I'm not inviting a chicken. Least of all goose. Like least of all goose. Oh. At least he showed up on Money Rock. At least he showed up on Money Rock Island. If he did not have the decency, we may have an actual problem. But he's on Money Rock, so everything's fine. Here we go. Jing 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 goes the money tree. Here we go. Thank goodness. Goose? No. Goose is a big ol' nope. Big ol' nope. Oh boy. This is something we're gonna have to do until we go empty out the pockets. It's fine though. I'm not mad at it, honestly. Not enough room in my what? Whoops. Good lord. This is where we're at. This is where we're at. Oh my goodness. Exhausting. For being exhausting, Money Rock. God damn. Nope. Hello, GSSP Panda. We're just gonna call you Panda. How are you? Welcome to chat. Trying to villager hunt and having a hell of a time while I run out of room in my pockets. I was not prepared. Okay. Thank you very much, GSP Panda. Yeah, it's just one of those hunts, you know. Hopefully, is this? I think this is the last. Yeah, this is the last rock on the island. How was your Monday, Panda? I passed on Cephalobot. That was probably a huge error. I should not have done that. Shoot. Good. I'm glad your Monday was amazing. Always good to hear. $4.31. That's always a good deal. Are you kidding me? Oops. Nope. Love to hear it. That is a fantastic Monday. Dang. Dang. Love it. Yeah, I have had terrible, and I mean, come on, yeet. Let's go. Let's go. Go. Let's go across the river. Hello? There it goes. All right. That's fantastic. I have had like absolutely terrible luck on the stock market as of late, so yes. Love to see you having some actual luck. That is very good to see. Okay. Gotta find my water just real quick. Can you chill, camera? Good night, Irene. We're going with full pockets, so we're just gonna. Only a couple of Nook Mile tickets so far. Like, I want to say this is 6 or 7. And I have already had 2 Money Rock Islands. So I need to go sell. Empty pockets and sell has to happen at some point. But first, we gotta know who's on this island. Who's here? And then we're gonna be going to a bio break. Who is? Oh my gosh, is that Tabby? This man with his nightmare. Look at this nightmare smile. He's got his back to us because he knows. He's got his back. Oh my gosh, Tabby. Yeah, I'm from another island for very fucking good reason. Yeah, bud. Oh my god. Get me off. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Wilbur. Pill bottom salsa, don't try to compliment me right now. Yes, I'm absolutely positive. Yes. Get out of here. Goodbye. We got Cephalbot within 4 tickets, and then we get Tabby. Nightmare fuel. Tabby. Oh my god. Anywho's, it is time for a bio break. It has been a little bit, so we're actually gonna go and take a bio break. So if you are hanging out, then make sure you go and grab your drink, your snacks, go get your wiggles out, go to the bathroom, do what you need to do, get up and stretch, whatever it is. We're gonna be back here in 5 minutes. So go do your bio break and be good to yourself. Drink water. Drink some fucking water. See you in 5 minutes. Oh, we are back. Gonna go sell. Let's just dump at the next stop. Okay. I'm high key regretting. Ooh, hello everybody. Yes, I realize you're ready for Thanksgiving, and bad news, you're stuck in a weird time pocket. So, whoops. Whoops. Okay. Oh, no, keeping those. Sell. Confirm. Okay, and then drop. No, because we have a storage shed. Go drop these in a storage shed. Look at Marina with a straw boater. I just cannot. It's so cute. Put away. Okay. Whoop. Oh, too many islands in a row. Not the worst. Not the worst thing in the world. I mean, obviously, because we have no money. And when I mean no money, I mean a little, but like... Nope. Full amount. Thank you. Great. Taking out... Just cause I like having 20 on me, and that's all we're gonna take out, and so... Okay. I own Shino Cephalbot. That's that's who we're hoping for. I'm gonna go close my door. Hang on. Okay. This is where the time travel has brought us. We're at Thanksgiving. We're not gonna sweat it too much until Thanksgiving Day. We're just gonna run away. It's gonna run. It's gonna be fine. Should have taken the we should have taken the Cephalbot. Should have taken the Cephalbot and gone the fuck to bed. It's all shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's all shoulda, coulda, woulda. Go overall. Go. We already got a new villager. We got a new villager already. Oh, it's one of the ones where we have to go. Wait, no, not. Oh no, no, no. Get me out of here. No. I'm so fucking positive. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Not. I don't even know who the green. I can't remember who the green pick is. All I know is it's disgusting. No, like chops or something like that. No, leaving. Goodbye. Goodbye forever. Not even mad about it. Let's get. No. Thank you. Yep. No. Wait. Is it? It's the Kill Bill monkey. What? Okay, what is your name? Tian Sheng. What is Tian Sheng? What is Tian Sheng? No, this is it. Shoot. Shoot, 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 shoot. Jock. I already have a jock. But Hamlet's gonna be going soon. Oh no. Come on. There it is. Okay, here we go. It's really cool. No, we're gonna do Tian Sheng, even if it's just for a little bit. Haven't had a monkey, I think, ever on my island. Tian Sheng is the exception to the rule. There it is. I know I just passed on a cephalopod for a monkey. I understand what just happened. But at the same time, it's Tian Sheng, who is the Kill Bill monkey. And I love cephalopod. I do. I love all the cephalopods. But at the same time, we had two new villagers in a row on a relatively short island tour. Like, I'm just gonna be 100% clear on that. We're gonna have to do some like longer winded island tours here pretty soon, but like that was a whole ass thing. Tian Sheng, even as a temp villager, yes. Cephalobot will be permanent. Like, let's just be honest. Tian Sheng in the area that they will be. That's a temp plot. That's a temp plot. And another jock is not going to kill us currently. Hopefully. I'm just gonna have to see on that. We'll have to see. Tiansheng. Tiansheng. No, we're gonna take home Tiansheng. And look at this coming through with a DIY on the island. Yes. Thank you. I will do that. Tiansheng coming to Neverland. Tiansheng. Not forever, just for a little bit. From Anka. Thank you, Anka. I did not know this one. The music box. Perfect. Music boxes. Those are going to be cute as hell. Oh. Wilbur. Get me out of here. Yes, I'm very positive. I am so positive. So positive. Get me out of here. We got Tiansheng. Tiansheng is cool. And I want to go to bed. Because I had a very late night. But I streamed anyway. Because I'm tired. So tired. Let's go check out the plot. And I will take care of the rest of the stuff in the fucking morning. Just. Let's go. Whoop. Nope. Did not realize that was out because whoops. We're gonna go to old Norma's gone. Guys, Norma has been here for over a year. And Norma's gone. Norma's off the island. I have her amiibo, so if I want her back, it's not an issue. But oh, there it is. There's the plot. It's sold. No, Tiansheng. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, there it is. I can't. It's kind of amazing. Really quick, we're doing a thumbnail. We're gonna do of course like a shocked thumbnail, I think. Okay, hang on. There we go. There it is. I passed on a cephalopod for the jock monkey. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why. But I'm very tired and need to process all of that because we'll see how Tiansheng fits into Neverland. There's a lot happening here. So we'll have to see. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. I have no idea if anybody is streaming, so we're just gonna go investigate who is streaming. Oh, nope. This is my constant curse. I stream too late for everybody. So it's fine. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. We're going to be live again tomorrow with some Pokemon Brilliant Diamond tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. I'm very excited about Tiansheng. There's going to be more content around that, hopefully. And I will see you guys later, I guess. I'm very tired. I'm just going to go to sleep because I got like maybe 5 hours of sleep last night. Okay, good night.